Alright, hello sports fans, ASMR Sports here, back with another sports card ASMR video. Looks like we got some more sweet mint gum from Orbits. Alright, today's going to be a little bit of a show and tell. I guess every day is a show and tell, but I guess what I mean is I'm not going to be opening anything. I'm just going to be showing some stuff and talking about it. As I mentioned in yesterday's video, I was expecting some packages today. I actually also ended up only getting one package. I guess I have a bunch coming on Monday. But the package that I did get was from the Baseball Card Exchange, and for those of you who don't know, Baseball Card Exchange in Schererville, Indiana, is pretty much the only place around to get unopened wax boxes of cards authenticated as having the packs intact, not opened, not searched. So what you do is box up your stuff, and this is an example of a box that is kind of wrapped up in some bubble wrap. So you kind of individually wrap each box so it doesn't fall apart and it has a little protection. And I wish I would have done this video in a wider format because I can't get much of the screen in. I was hoping I could tear this tape off and then kind of reseal it at the end, but I'm not sure if I'll be able to do that. So you can see what I'm doing. I'm just trying to peel the tape here. Alright, so you wrap up the boxes that you want to send in. And then, alright. I don't know if this is going to work. This tape is like really shreddable. I'm just going to take it off. Hopefully that's not like redonky loud. Now I've got the tape like right by the microphone. Alright, so oops. You wrap up your boxes like this, you throw them in a big old cardboard box, and then you go on their website and you can fill out a form where you list all of the boxes that you're sending in, and then you hit submit, and it sends an email to them, and I think sends an email to you, and then you print that out and put it in your box of boxes and send it on off to Indiana. And then what they do is, look at the boxes, and they'll actually look at all the, or not maybe all of them, but most of the packs in the box to make sure they haven't been tampered with, to make sure that the way they're sealed is actually proper, like for the way that the manufacturer would have sealed them, and they're not resealed by some jabroni playing tricks on us. So if everything looks good, they'll wrap it all up in this cellophane that has the Baseball Card Exchange logo on it. And then on the back, you get a nice little sticker that has their stamp of approval. It says the year, brand, and type of box. And more recently, they've started putting these little hologram stickers on there to make it harder to copy them. Interestingly, this one is handwritten, and starting about maybe 6 months ago, they actually started printing the label, like the part where it says the stuff about the box. They started printing them, so I'm actually kind of surprised to see handwritten, but they might have had some of these left over, or they might use those printed ones primarily for when they do like a whole case of like sealed from the factory, and they will then crack the seal. And if everything looks good, if the seal is good and there's no tampering with the case itself, they'll wrap, each of the boxes, and then on this sticker it will say from a sealed case, or FASC, abbreviated. And those boxes carry a significant premium over the non, FASC boxes, because with this kind of box, it's not guaranteed that you have the original contents of the box. Someone could have swapped some packs in and out, and as long as those packs were, sealed properly by the factory, then this box would get, this designation. So the from a sealed case boxes mean that the cards you're getting are exactly what the factory intended to put in that box, and not something different. And so with, people looking at, like, trying to see what's in a pack on the front or back of the pack, and pulling out, packs that have good players on them, or more commonly, or I guess more problematic, with some very high-end boxes, like, Fleer basketball, especially like 86, 87, 88. Some people figured out, like, based on the sequence of packs in the box, which ones had certain cards. So, having a from a sealed case box means that you don't have any of that nonsense. Just having this kind of authentication means that the box contains, the number of packs it should, that all of those packs are factory sealed, but, nothing more than that. And they don't they don't like grade these boxes at all, so there's no like indication of how good or bad the condition of this box is. You just kind of have to, go eyeball it. But this does mean that all the packs in here, are factory sealed. So that's a little bit about the process. So this is an 86 Donruss baseball box, and when I was a youngster collecting cards in like the late 80s, this stuff was just impossible, for at least for a kid to afford. Although it's funny, like, I'm sure even back then stuff was only like $6 or $7 a pack, which now sounds cheap, but back then, I wasn't going to pay more than like 35 cents a pack for my tops, 86 tops or 87 tops or whatever it would be back then. So paying, $6, $7 for a pack was just, nothing I would ever in a million years consider doing as a kid. I would rather buy like a full box of some crappier product, and have all that. But in this box, you can find 86 Donruss Jose Canseco rookies, which are his, most important rookie card. And back when he was hitting, 40 home runs, stealing 40 bases on the Oakland A's, like perennial champion teams, people thought he was going to be one for the ages, and his rookie cards were just, impossibly expensive. So next up, looks like we've got some non-sports stuff. I'll get this unwrapped, and I'm hoping these kind of unwrapping sounds are somewhat enjoyable and not too loud, but maybe I'll go slow. nice to send in some additional boxes to these guys. Alright, first box is a favorite of mine. This is 1984 Fleer V trading cards. Man, when I was a kid, this show was around for a while because the original miniseries came out in 1984 and was so popular that they ended up doing like a second miniseries and then like a full series. So I think the full series. Well, I'm not quite sure the order of things. I think that the full series was the latest in time, and I'm trying to think when that ended. I feel like it might have been like 87 or 86. But anyways, this show, God, I love this show. I still love this show. It was about like an alien invasion. That it's totally like a an allegory to Nazi Germany. Although it's funny because the parallels really aren't quite there. But basically, it's about these people that so they come. These people show up from outer space, and they appear to be human, and so they meet with the leaders of the world and say, hey, we're here to bring you technology, and we just need some of your natural resources to save our planet or something like that. Well, the truth is far from that presentation, folks, and I'm not going to spoil it, but yeah, basically you can see here, you'll find this out like the first episode of the original miniseries, but it turns out they're like these reptile-looking dudes that have just some facial covering, which that in itself is not like a big deal, right? It's like hey, if snakes could talk, cool, we'd probably be friends. But the problem is they do a lot of dastardly stuff, and they're not here just to take a few things. Well, they are, but they're here to take a lot of things, and lots of things we don't want them to take. So, anyways, that's the basic premise of it. And then these are like the little freedom fighters here. That's Mike and I forget her name. Gosh, it's been a while since I watched this. Yeah. So, unfortunately, I don't know if I've ever even seen these cards opened at all. I would really love to because I just love this show and everything about it. But this is a pretty rare box. You don't see these all that often on eBay. I don't know what it's worth. I bet I paid like very little money for it. I probably paid like $40. And I just wanted to kind of, preserve it. It's in real nice condition, so that's why I sent that in. Alright, that's box number 2. Box number 3 is kind of a wacky one. This is Raiders of the Lost Ark. Everybody knows Raiders of the Lost Ark. Kind of hate how this like bends the top thing in if the packs are not that thick. Like, it's kind of annoying, but whatevs. Yeah, I feel like it's our Rex things. So this is not a Topps product. This is OPG, as you can see the little label there. Which you don't see OPG like non-sports cards all that much, although I have like some packs of OPG like Superman movie cards. So yeah, this was just like OPG baseball cards. For those of you who don't know, OPG was a company in Canada, and they basically licensed from Topps the right to reproduce the cards that Topps produced for like baseball and I guess some non-sports stuff. So they basically made the exact same cards, except they used like different stock, and then they had the OPG name on there instead of Topps. And some of the OPG stuff is super rare. Or hockey was the big one, right? I think that was kind of probably the first thing they'd ever done with Topps is the hockey cards. They took the Topps hockey cards and sold them in Canada, where the hockey market is much bigger than in the U.S. And in most cases, I think probably in all cases, the OPG hockey cards are sought after than their Topps counterparts. That used to not be true for baseball. The baseball cards that O-Pee-Chee put out used to be much less valuable than the Topps, and people didn't really want the O-Pee-Chee stuff. But it's actually a lot rarer, the O-Pee-Chee products, compared to their Topps counterparts, so now they're starting to get much more sought after and valuable. I've started to buy up some O-Pee-Chee 86 baseball cards because I'm a big fan of that set, and someday maybe I'll open those and look for like gem mint copies of the Hall of Famers that are in there, which can fetch a nice premium. So this right here is a larger looking box, as you can see, than the prior boxes, and that is because, well, first I'm going to open this, get this dang tape off. Maybe I'll just try to... Maybe I'll just cut it because I don't know if I want to rip it off all this time. Alright, so this is a rack pack box, which has 24 three cell packs, so it's like 3 wax packs in every rack pack, and so a full box of rack packs is equivalent to 2 wax boxes, and usually they're cheaper than 2 wax boxes, so they're a nice kind of bargain. Plus I feel like the rack packs do not have gum in them, so you don't have to worry about gum. And they're generally, they're not going to have wax stains either, so that's another thing. And generally they're a little more, resistant to some of the bangs and the dents that happen to wax packs in the wax boxes. So overall, if you're looking for cards to grade, rack packs are a good thing to do. If you can find the right rack pack box or get from a sealed case rack pack box, then you can also see if you can find rack packs that have stars showing. So for example, if you had an 84 Topps rack pack with like a Don Manley rookie showing, that rack pack would be worth significantly more than a base Don Manley card, just because it's a rarity and people like to collect those, and it's kind of fun to have like a major card showing in a rack pack. So yeah, a lot of people like to get these and sort of look through them and pull the stars on front packs and then open the rest, maybe looking for good condition cards. I bought this, I'm not sure, I think I bought this relatively recently. So this is 86 Topps, which is again one of my favorite sets, and I think I got this recently from a local card shop that had a bunch of just older kind of junkier wax stuff, and I probably paid $25 or something for this. I think this box right now I'm sure would go for over $100, authenticated by BBCE. So it was a good investment, but I just like to have these 86 ones because I love everything 86 Topps. There's pretty much like no major rookies in 86 Topps. There's like Vince Coleman, and geez, I'm trying to think who else even is in there. There's like Chris Brown, who was big back then because he was a good young player, but didn't end up having much of a career. And a few like Ernest Riles is a rookie in there. So there's like a lot of guys that once were hot but aren't anymore, or didn't end up having good careers. But in terms of rookies that lasted, there's really none. but it's just it's so loaded with like stars, of that era. There were so many big name Hall of Famers playing in '86, like Cal Ripken, Tony Gwynn, Ryan Sandberg, Wade Boggs, not in the Hall of Fame, but Don Mattingly, and tons more. So I've always loved that. Said this is also these are the first baseball cards I ever bought, 86 Topps. In fact, I think I got like some rack packs from my mom for like my birthday one year. And that might have been the first time I'd ever gotten baseball cards. So 86 Topps have a lot of sentimental value to me. So that's what about that box? Find out where I'm putting all these dang things. I have 2 cases of 86 Topps rack packs as well, and there were 2 versions of cases for that year. It was there was a 3 rack box case, and then there was a 6 rack box case, and I have one of each that I bought sufficiently long ago that I paid a fraction of what they're worth now because everything's gone up in price. So I'm gonna try to cut this. You're not gonna be able to see it, but bear with me. So if you have some unopened stuff from yesteryear, and you've always, wondered about sending it in, hopefully this video gives you a better sense of what the kind of process and then results are of doing that. I did not send stuff in to BBC for many years. I basically started doing this a year ago, because I've always bought and collected lots of older wax boxes. So it's always been a big part of my collection, but I'd never sent anything in because I just was unfamiliar with the process. I also thought it was prohibitively expensive because the way that they price things is they say it's 8% of the value of the box, which can be a lot of money if you're talking about like a box that's worth $1,000 and it's like $80 to get that box graded. However, what I did not realize is that the prices actually are quite a bit lower than that, because to like assess the value of the box for purposes of knowing what to charge you, they use like their wholesale price, so the price they buy boxes at, which is generally a lot lower than the price that's the market price. Plus, I would also say that they're very generous in their pricing, and like the minimum price they will charge for a box authentication is $8, and every box you see here, I only got charged $8 for. So theoretically, if they're buying something for more than $100, then you should get more than $8. And I actually don't think, maybe I might have boxes here, none of which they're buying for over $100. Actually, that's probably true. But in other cases where I have sent in boxes that are worth, a bit more, they've cut some slack, so it ends up not being much. And with these kinds of boxes, and really I think every kind of box, the 8% of the wholesale price is always going to be worth it in terms of getting back in value what you pay for the authentication. Because let's say I've got a $100 box and I pay $8 to get it graded. Well, the BBCE authenticated price of that box is always going to be $8 more than an unauthenticated box, like in virtually every case, unless you're grading like, 88 Donruss baseball, which is worth like, nothing either way. But anything with any kind of decent value, 86 Topps, 87 Donruss, these are not high value box. I mean, they're going up because everything unopened is getting to be, super popular and expensive. But these are pretty low end. These are low end boxes, and it's well worth the $8 to grade these, I think. And so, for me, shipping is actually pretty cheap because I live relatively close to Indiana in terms of like UPS routes. So like for me to send all these boxes, and I think it was like $28, and for them returning to me, I only got charged $22 because they have better UPS rates because they ship, hundreds of packages a day. But they only are charging, what their discounted UPS rate is. So, yeah, so it does make good financial sense to send these in. I guess I have to talk about these boxes. This is a Dallas TV show, Donruss box. Just kind of fun. Got that old Donruss logo on there. I believe these are from 1981. Let's see, it'll say, yep, 1981. So yeah, I got this from like Dave and Adams. I think they had a sale on like some non-sport boxes. Picked it up. I didn't see that rip there. I don't know if that happened while these were getting graded or what, but this box is a little bit beat up. It's got some wear on the kind of front there. But anyways, that's a cool one. I really like 80s stuff, like 80s pop culture boxes. So like, I really love. I'm trying to see. I think it's one of the things that I'm waiting for to get back. I have a A-Team box from 1983. That's one of my favorites. And then I also have an opened box with only like half the packs left because I've been opening them or using them for I don't know what giveaways and stuff. But I have a box of Goonies, which is like one of my top 3 favorite movies of all time. And those boxes actually have gotten really expensive. I've seen the packs; they sell for like $20 now, just for a pack. So I really should have kept that intact. But when I bought it, I paid like $20 for it. I think I thought I had 2 of them at some point, but I think I'm wrong about that because I don't know where it would have gone. But yeah, like back when I bought those, I bought those probably 15 years ago, maybe more, off eBay, and nobody gave a crap about non-sport stuff back then. It's gotten more popular recently and more valuable. All right, so what we have here is an 87 Fleer cello box. So those are the little clear cellophane wrapped packs that are like, let's see how many cards are in there. Yeah, 31 cards. So it's like twice the number of cards in a wax pack. Usually wax packs have 15 cards, so 31 is like two wax packs plus 1 card. So there's only 24 packs though in there instead of 36 in a wax box. So I think you probably get well, let's think that's the same as 48 packs. So it's basically a box and a half of wax. Is what a cello box is. And as with rack packs, a lot of people like the cello packs that show a star on the front, and they're also generally in pretty good condition, the cards in cello packs compared to wax packs. So they're another good option for people that want to open some stuff that is in good condition and maybe pull some star packs out of there. I remember when 87 Topps came out, it was really hard to find, and of course that was a very hot time for the baseball card market, and all the guys that were rookies in that set, Mark McGwire and Canseco, and I guess Canseco was his second year, but it was his first card like alone on Fleer, so it was kind of his rookie card. And yeah, like Pete Incaviglia and Corey Snyder and Bo Jackson, all these guys, their Fleer rookie cards were super, super valuable compared to like Topps or even Donruss, and it was really like a premium, highly desirable set that you could not find very easily. So I don't think I ever got any of this stuff when I was collecting back in 87 as a young child. But it got really cheap for a while, and now it's kind of getting more expensive again, along with everything else in the sports card world. So I'm gonna again try to cut looked. Tonight is Friday, the 21st, I think, of August, and wow, my birthday's coming up shortly. But I haven't looked to see what basketball games are going on tonight. I don't think any of the teams that played yesterday will be playing again. I might be wrong, I'm not sure. Or maybe like everybody takes a day off, I don't know. I don't know. That'd be silly though to not have any Friday night games, big TV audience, especially in the pandemic. So I guess I'll find out. The Yankees, I saw, just had their game canceled because, or postponed I should say, because they were going to play the Mets, and I guess the Mets had a couple people diagnosed with coronavirus, so. Alright, here we have a couple of Garbage Pail Kid boxes. This one's actually really nice. This one, again, I feel like these were not like this when I sent them in, but the shrink wrapping process just kind of like, puts pressure all over the box and might cause it to break like that, which really sucks, but I don't know, what are you gonna do? So yeah, Garbage Pail Kid stuff is not like terribly expensive right now, but it is more expensive than it has been, in recent history. There was a time when Garbage Pail Kids, for some strange reason, like sometimes I just get like a bug in my system and I have to go, buy a bunch of whatever. And like this happened with Garbage Pail Kids, I don't know, like a couple of years ago. I was like, I just gotta go and buy, I want to buy like one of every series of Garbage Pail Kids. Well, I found out that the first series is like impossibly expensive, although back then it was still a lot less than it is now. Now this thing's, I don't even know how much, they're probably like 10,000 a box or something ridiculous. Second series is right now extremely expensive too. And back then it was probably well more than every other series. So I decided not to go after those, but I was like, I'm gonna get like all the boxes I can that are like $100 or less, and some series were like $60 a box, and some series were like 99 or just over 100 a box. So I just kind of, I don't know, like in a 3-day period, I bought like, I don't know, 7 or 8 boxes. And yeah, I don't know, sometimes I just decide I have to go and buy a certain thing. And I did that with Garbage Pail Kids, and it turned out to be a really good move, because definitely the prices on all this stuff have gone up. I haven't looked in, a while. Certainly the earlier the series, the more valuable it is. So like the 11th series, probably not that valuable. Let's see what year it is from. 1987. So like the very first Garbage Pail Kids, Series 1 came out in 1985. I think Series 2 was also in 1985. And then I think Series 3 might have been like the last 1985 series. And then everything else is like 86 or later, on up to like 1988. I think they went up to like 13th or 14th or 15th series, and those were 1988s. So yeah, I don't know. That's my story about Garbage Pail Kids. This is a 1986 box, 6th series. The earliest boxes that I got were 3rd series, and I actually got like a full box of 3rd series, and I got like a half full box, and I ended up selling off a bunch of the packs just on eBay for like $3 or something. And got rid of all those like not too long ago, maybe like 7-8 months ago. That was kind of a bad move. Those packs are worth a lot more now, but I still have a full box, which is presently at Baseball Card Exchange. So there's your Garbage Pail fix. The next batch I get from Baseball Card Exchange will have probably about 6 or 7 or so more Garbage Pail Kids. So if this video does well, I'll show the next batch of crap that I get from Baseball Card Exchange. Alright, so the last thing I'm going to show in this video are these, which I have 3 of, so I only have one kind of box left. And that's the 2 here, and then I have another one wrapped by itself. so this is your classic 1987 set. If you're a baseball card collector, you probably know what this is from the box, but as soon as I get done folding, I will tell you. Alright, what we've got here is 87 Donruss baseball. Very cool stuff. Up until, the past 7-8 months, you could get these for like $20 to $25 relatively easily. They were a very undervalued box. And, back in 87, these were, one of the hotter products around because, again, that 87 rookie class, up until the point where Canseco fizzled out was a very big deal. So, yeah, I'm sure you would have paid, I don't know, $70-$80 a box back when this stuff was out, if not a fair bit more. But, then when the kind of junk wax crash happened, this kind of stuff was very much affected and went down substantially in value and wasn't really worth anything for a very long time. So I would pick these up occasionally when I saw them, right at about that $20-$25 price point, whether online or at like card shows that I went to. Just, for pretty much all of the wax that I've bought, the, sort of 80s wax that I bought, I bought for sentimental value. But now with the, sort of the new boom in sports cards, all this stuff is going up along with everything else. And there are getting to be more and more people who collect unopened boxes of cards. Both for nostalgia, but also because I think they see it as a pretty decent investment, given that a lot of people are opening unopened boxes of cards because they're trying to find, gem mint copies of some of the classic cards inside, which, if you get a Bo Jackson 87 Donruss that can grade PSA 10, I'm sure that's worth, I don't know, maybe close to $100. So, I think a lot of people are willing to take that spin. You get Will Clark rookies in here, you get Mark McGwire rated rookie in here, you can get Greg Maddux rookie in here, he's a Hall of Famer. So, Barry Bonds. So there's a ton of good rookies that if you got, to be a PSA 10, they'd probably be worth $100 maybe. So, I think people see, oh, well, okay, I can pay whatever, $100 for a box like this and have a shot at getting a PSA 10 that I can spend, I guess it's like $12 to grade an 87 Donruss card, which is pretty cheap. Send it in and hope maybe I get a 10 and make my money back, right? I mean, I think there's a lot of people doing that, but when they do that, they, they're not making any more of this stuff. So it decreases the supply of these unopened boxes. So I think a lot of people are buying this stuff and just hanging on to it, waiting for more and more and more and more to get opened, and thus the prices go up, and then maybe the prices of the PSA graded cards go up. So because there's a limited supply of those too, right? I mean, I think people that opened this stuff back in 87 are probably not sitting on copies of these cards that could possibly grade PSA 10, because they've probably been sitting in like shoe boxes in some kid's closet for a number of years. So the more of this stuff that gets opened and then doesn't contain PSA 10, the more, I think, rare, or the more clear it becomes that the rarity of the PSA 10s is quite strong, and so maybe the price of the PSA cards will go up, in time as well. Unless suddenly people start pulling Gem 10s out of everything. But I don't know. This stuff, as it came from the factory, was very, very low quality in terms of centering. I think that's your biggest issue with a lot of these 80s stuff is that the print like technology back then was not very great, and they did not. Maybe it's not the printing; it's like the cutting technology was not very great, and they did not consistently get well-centered cards. Whereas today things are generally much better in terms of centering. As with all technologically driven industries, as I think the printing industry is. So that's just the third and final box of 87 Donruss, and the last box in this batch of stuff. So in any event, there's a little kind of nostalgia for you guys. I hope you enjoy that. I really love these unopened boxes. I just sort of naturally bought this stuff because it's what appealed to me. Even when I was a kid collecting, again, I almost never bought singles. I always bought wax packs and wax boxes, and I opened them and then got the singles from there, and then I would bring them to card shows and I would trade them to dealers for credit, and then I would use that credit to get all their unopened boxes and packs of cards. So that I've always been obsessed with unopened sports cards. And it's funny, now my basement is just filled with this stuff because I've started buying modern stuff, and there seems like there's always something to buy. And with this boom in the industry, things are going up very consistently for the past half a year or so. So it's kind of paid off to to buy this stuff and to buy the modern stuff that I've bought. A lot of basketball from 2018 and 2019. I didn't necessarily think that stuff was going to go gangbusters, but I bought it because I've always had faith in the value of unopened products, provided there's any kind of star power in the set. And with basketball, there's usually at least one player from a draft class that does well over the long term. So I'm just stacking all these things up in case you're wondering what I'm doing, so I can hopefully this will be like the thumbnail it defaults to, but like that. Look at that, beautiful. So anyways, I've always been a unopened wax guy, and it's no different now. So this kind of stuff, this authenticated unopened stuff is really exciting for me. I will say though, the PSA stuff I really like too. I love getting stuff graded and getting it back and looking at it. That's pretty fun. But this is actually a fair bit cheaper, and something I've been doing for ages and ages, or at least collecting this kind of stuff for ages. I've never really collected and focused on high grade cards until relatively recently. When I've started sending them into PSA. But this stuff, it's been around with me forever. So I hope you guys enjoyed. If you also like unopened stuff, feel free to say so in the comments, and maybe I'll point you guys to some resources that I use to buy, sell, and trade, and just kind of talk about this stuff. There are Facebook groups and online forums and stuff where people collect the stuff and talk about it and focus on it. So if it's something that appeals to you, I'd love to help people start collecting this stuff, because I think it's really fun and it's still pretty cheap. I mean, you can buy a box of 86 Topps baseball, unwrapped, unauthenticated off, eBay. And if you do it right, you can generally, avoid too many problems. That kind of stuff was not searched. So if you were a kid and you bought 86 Topps baseball cards as a 9-year-old or something, then you may get a lot of value out of buying a box in 2020 and opening it up. And if you want any tips on how to do that without getting ripped off, I'd be happy to talk about that some more in future episodes, or say a bit on the comments. And maybe actually it would be kind of fun to do a sort of vintage wax. I guess it's not really vintage, it's junk wax. It's kind of this era is what it's called. But maybe I'll do a junk wax giveaway for my next giveaway. So if you'd be interested in that, let me know, and I'll certainly keep in mind. Alright everybody, thanks so much for watching. We will catch you all later. Have a great one. See you, bye.